I invite love and light, protection and perfection. Well, hello there, my moon-loving friends. So tomorrow is Thursday, November 20th, 2025, and as the sun rises in the east, the moon will be accompanied by Mercury, retrograde, Venus, and Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio. A grand water trine is forming this lunation that includes all 5 of the retrograde planets. We've got Mercury in Scorpio, Jupiter in Cancer, and then we've got Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. And you know, the moon and sun are opposite Uranus, who is also retrograde. I'm doing the moonwalk in Taurus. It's extra curious that all of these bodies are transiting within a few degrees of the 0 creator degree arcs, you know, like 1 or 2 degrees, like, and then at the 30, 29, 28, right? We got a little window here. And in fact, we've got 7 planets that include the moon and the sun that are in the last degrees of their respective signs right now. This is like a ginormous cosmic arrow pointing towards the past. Compelling us to face what we thought we'd left behind. This is a brief revisit before we are launching ourselves into this next new cycle, you know. The fact that we have so many harmonic aspects to the transformational energy of the Scorpion is going to aid in the shedding of this old shell that's become too small for all we've already become. Mercury is retrograde through November 29th and comes to an exact conjunction with the sun, orbiting between the Earth in an inferior Cazimi formation. This signals the heart of the new solar cycle for Mercury. The word Cazimi comes from Arabic, meaning in the heart of the sun. And the idea is the planet is healed by the sun's rays, while fresh truths are revealed in the planet's brilliance, as the planet's brilliance seen from the Earth is temporarily blocked. So this is a golden gateway for clarifying our wish lists, for clicking puzzle pieces together with new perspectives and personal revelations. Given that this configuration includes all of the outer planets, this is considered a soul level type reset vibe. Venus is conjunct the moon, sun, Mercury, etc. in Scorpio, and is bringing opportunities for profound intimacy with ourselves and with others. In the watery depths of Scorpio, we're able to dive beneath the surface and explore the truths below. Venus in Scorpio encourages us to be seen in our mess as we are, not as we like to project. Opposite Uranus retrograde Taurus, we are prompted to question the foundations of our values, which has the potential to disrupt some stagnant dynamics. Trine Neptune retrograde may fuel some romantic, artistic impulses and creative inspiration as well. Mars is in Sagittarius and is square the lunar nodes, which represent our destiny and our past. The North Node is in Pisces currently versus the South Node in Virgo. And this axis is a lesson in surrender of micromanaging impulses to accept things as perfectly imperfect. Right here, right now. The square with Mars creates contrast for clarity on why we pick certain battles and not others. And this may highlight an opportunity for new ways of asserting ourselves. Jupiter is retrograde at the 1 degree of Cancer, asking us to reevaluate what constitutes emotional security, a feeling of home, and the very definition of family. To reflect inwards on how we nurture ourselves and others. And there's this trine, against the moon and Scorpio, etc., and as well with Saturn and Neptune and Pisces, who they're doing the moonwalk here, and all this is offering up some, helpful extra heaps of emotional support. Saturn is still retrograde Pisces, right? And that's helping clean up a karmic cycle from the last 30 years. It's conjunct Neptune and trine Jupiter, trine the moon in that grand water trine we spoke, right? That is encouraging us to get our emotional processing flowing at this time, as it were. Uranus, is opposite the whole sun and moon caboodle and is retrograde back in Taurus, where it's been since 2018 until recently this year. Now, at the 29th degree, the rebel planet is asking us to revisit our relationships with money, security, nature, and our bodies. There's an impulse fueling an evolution around material sustainability and acknowledging our inherent self-worth. This all encourages us to live in alignment with our deeper values. Neptune is retrograde at the 29th degree. This is giving us a period of internal reflection on our dreams versus reality, with a chance to reassess our former aspirations. And this may serve as an eye-opener, revealing our illusions and delusions that we've been laboring under. This is really important before we launch into, the next new cycle with Neptune into Aries soon. We've got Chiron, the wounded healer, who is retrograde in Aries, reminding us that it is safe for me to take up space. My presence is worthy, and my will is sacred. And Black Moon Lilith is conjunct the sun and moon in Scorpio, providing an invitation to integrate those exiled parts of our untamed feminine nature. Taboos such as shame, anger, and sexuality may emerge from our watery depths, asking to be witnessed. This new moon is a potent opportunity to be curious about the depths of intimacy with ourselves and with others. And whatever's been standing in our way of truth and vulnerability will be challenged at this time. Plant seeds to transform pain into power. Allow a connection with that wordless knowing beyond conscious awareness. And face your fears to find true freedom. Seek to alchemize emotional lead into alchemical gold and lean into the dark, quiet, deep as you trust your own perceptions. So with that said, let's get ready to set an intention for this Scorpio new moon. Go ahead and get settled in your seat, and we'll breathe in to breathe out. And in this water sign of the fall, we're going to imagine ourselves sitting by a flowing river at dawn. Just listen for the sounds of the burble of the water, the trickle at the edges, maybe the rush in the distance at some rapids beyond. And allow yourself to be still. Let's take our hands in a nice receiving posture and set them up in our laps here. Breathe in to breathe out. And now let's breathe in for 4. And as we hold our breath, let's grow our roots into the ground. And as we exhale, just releasing the tension. Back into the earth. And pause. Now breathe in again. And imagine here at this riverside that the water, as it's trickling through, our roots have reached the water table, and this flow is now flowing to us and through us. Let's breathe it up into our roots. And hold it for a moment as you imagine this water is dissolving all of the impurities. And when we breathe out, we're going to flush away that which does not serve. And as we breathe in again, let's breathe in some white light to purify. Some UV light. Yeah, all right. And hold as you see yourself enveloped in a UV light purple scan from crown to toe and in your roots below. As you breathe out, breathe away what needs to be shed. And from here, let's imagine recalling all of our IZness with a golden disc at the center of our bellies here. Just breathe that in. Let's put our hands over our bellies, in fact, and breathe that in. And hold as you recall all of your past energies, all the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and wish I didn't. Just feel them streaming back from all timelines. And as you breathe out, letting go of the tension. And breathing in again, let's invite all of the present energy, all the have-tos, need-tos, gotta-dos. Breathe that in. And hold as you see this energy arcing back to you, filling this beautiful disc to an even more vibrant yellow. And as you breathe out, letting go of whatever now intentions you have that aren't going to happen, because right here, right now, there's nothing else you need to do, nowhere else you need to go. We're here for the next few minutes to set an aligned intention. So breathe that in. And now let's recall all of our future energies, all of the perhapses, babies, some days, would like tos. All timelines, all frequencies, all dimensions. Another sip in. And hands over the heart. And when you're ready to release. Good. To give thanks for this peace inside. Having recalled all IZness from all timelines, frequencies, and dimensions. Let's imagine that it is possible for all the lived wisdom that we have gained in our experience to be titrated through an algorithm in our brains into a digital archive. So we're just going to breathe, and we're going to imagine that this is kind of processing the databases of our experiences from our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual beings. And it's just going to allow us to gather the best of the best. And as this is happening, we are now building in our mind's eye a listening booth adjacent to a control room in our mind's eye, a place where we go to toggle some aspects of our experience in that control room. And this listening booth is like soundproof, allowing us to get a really crystal clear channel. And inside this listening booth, we are now installing a receiver. Just like, imagine like a 1970s like receiver that you would need to do some vinyl records with those lovely dials and analog push buttons and little clicky switches. And let's install this receiver in our listening booth now. And let's close that door to the listening booth in our control panel and breathe. inviting divine peace and wisdom. Exhaling the stress. And as we gaze upon this newfangled receiver in our listening booth adjacent to the control room in our mind's eye, we're going to begin to ask to be guided to toggle the switches and the buttons and the dials so that we may be guided to a station that is transmitting the wisdom we wish to receive on a way that we might transform our pain into power. So we're just going to take a series of breaths here. We're going to do some box breathing where you do the same distance in and hold and out, then pause. That's one. Let's do that again. One more. And from this space, tune in to what is being broadcast through a pair of headphones in your listening booth. How we may transform pain into power. What is one new thing we could do, we can take action on in our lives to transform our personal pain into our personal power? Breathe that in. And now let's imagine that with our breath, as we're breathing in and out, we are creating a condensate, right? A condensate. I can't say that right, but we're creating a vapor. And that vapor, water has memory. So we're going to allow this water that is exiting our lungs, that has been informed with this wisdom that we have asked to be shown, right? And we're going to breathe out of us a tiny seed. Let's breathe that seed of possibility for this one way to transform pain into power in our lives. Breathe in and out. And in. And out. Two more breaths here. Let's get that outer coating on the seed. And now let's gather that precious seed of possibility and let's put it in a beautiful treasure chest in our hearts, right here, right now. Breathe that in and just hold. Maybe shake around as you settle it into place and bury it safely. One more breath here. And as you hold your breath, let's offer a gratitude rampage for all the ways that things are already working out for us and the ways that we know that our blessings are coming to us. And as we breathe out, know that we are nourishing the seed in our heart. With each breath in, we're bringing light. With each breath out, we're watering it with our breath vapor. Good. And having planted this seed in our hearts, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Come back to the safety and love of the room. Thank you for allowing me to honor you with this sacred intention setting practice today for this new moon in Scorpio, November of 2025. Before we sign off, I pulled a card from my Sacred Rebels Oracle deck with a message just for us, dear friend. And I love it so much. Okay, are you ready? Here it is. Receiving. You are so loved. However, you sometimes forget this. You forget to take a moment to stop, breathe, and be. You can receive the love of the universe that is receiving you. It is time to bring something back in for you to receive and be received. You deserve it. Do you know how much joy the universe gains from being able to give to you? I'm just going to take a pause for a second and really reiterate this. Have you ever been given an opportunity to be helpful? And do you remember how good it felt to be able to be of service to another person? Well, how often do we deny other people in our lives that gift of giving to us? Receiving, okay? Do you know when you cannot accept, you are impeding and inhibiting the communion between you and the universe. Enough with the false modesty and guilt. You are a radiant sun in human clothing. Soak it up, including the restoration of sacred rest. Oh, you guys, new moons are so perfect for giving yourself permission to know about inner resource in whatever way fills your cup to overflow. Allow yourself to switch off and just be with yourself for a little while. Rest now, play now, and work later. Let it all go and let it all flow. And what a great little message, just on the crest before we have this Thanksgiving holiday coming up next week. And in that, about a spirit of gratitude, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in this far. And for those of you who have been catching my videos since I've been putting them out, and those who are even new, I'm so grateful to even have an audience to share this. This is a fun project that I created for myself after I created this book following the lunar cycles. And now I'm getting ready to revise it and create a lunar planner. And I have a wall calendar that's got these processes for the lunations each month and the zodiac stuff for the sign that it's in already ready. So know that will be a future offering coming down the pike if that's something that you're interested in. And I wish you a most wonderful Thanksgiving season. May you be blessed with a balanced abundance of time, freedom, and resources, creativity, empowerment, and courage, kindness and compassion, as well as authenticity and the integrity to express yourself with clarity and inspiration, and to feel part of something meaningfully connected in so many ways. Thanks again, and see you in 2 weeks. Take care.